Pre-recorded from my garage. It's the show that did not trauma dump Elmo on Twitter this weekend. It's SPL Live. Today, the Brandows holding down the top, or two of the top three spots in the SPL standings. Which Brandow reigns supreme is the question we're going to answer for everybody. Meanwhile, the last of the undefeated trainers finally loses and falls to fourth place in the standings. Does David Girvin have what it takes to bounce back heading into week 6? And finally, the segment that has everyone on edge to the point where they become struggling doctors. And what I mean by that is they got no patience. Little Wayne lyric for you there. It's T's Tears. Alongside T. Watson, I'm Anthony Mariona. T, what do you got to say about this week's Tears?
This week, not a lot's changed. I'm the same old person. The committee is the same old committee. And, you know, it's been a really passive week.
Okay, fair enough. Now, we'll start with the Brandows. Dylan Brandow, 17 wins, 3 losses, 0 ties, 85% winning percentage, which is weird, 85% winning percent, 85%, yeah. 48 points on the season, 1 trainer rattle win for 3 points, and currently sits in first place. His brother, Luke Brandow, on the other side, 15 wins, 4 losses, 0 ties, 79% win rate with 42 points on the season, no trainer battles to speak of, currently sitting in third place. Both brothers are playing as good as anyone so far this season, but depending on your perspective, one brother has to be the clear favorite over the other. Now, I'm going to go ahead and read a quote from Luke Brandow. Dylan is the best player I know. The best I've ever come across or competed against. I'm jealous of the grasp he has on the entire game of when he bricks or misplays, which is rare, I can give him a run for his money. But I've got a ways to go in terms of pacing and understanding sequencing the way he does. I'm half as good as Dylan, but I'm trying. Now, T, it sounds like Luke, for the most part, agrees with what you've been saying since the beginning of the season, since the first time that we met the Brandows, is that Dylan is the more skilled Brandow. Your reaction to his quote?
I mean, he's not wrong. Dylan is a very skilled player. You can tell just by, him being at the top of the mountain right now. He's sitting in first place. He's just that good, honestly. He's much better than Luke in my eyes. I think by deck choice, critical thinking, decision making, I think he just has, a better understanding of the game when it comes to sitting down and actually playing the game then.
Okay, so I agree to a certain extent. I feel like Pokemon, because there's so much luck involved in the game, that confidence is another aspect that gets very overlooked when it comes to performance and things like that. And Luke is someone that exuberates confidence, right? He's someone where he walks into the room, he's some people consider him over cocky. And it may rub people the wrong way, but I think once you sit down and you play him and you understand why he is that way and how good he is, you have to learn to respect it. And what I say about that is, another person or someone that people like that's overly cocky but possesses a lot of confidence is someone that isn't a part of the league, unfortunately, this season, which is AJ. Sitting there and playing AJ, knowing that he's going to top deck a boss and then twerk on the person that he beat. There's a certain aspect of that where you sit there and I don't know if it's an issue where you see someone that's sitting across from you, and Luke's a big kid, so he looks like a grown man, kind of like Jack from the movie Jack with Robin Williams, just a big grown man. But you see him, you see how confident he is, how quick he can play. And sometimes maybe that leads to other players, other inexperienced trainers misplaying and overthinking and not sequencing properly. So I do agree that Dylan may have the better skill set overall. I think the thing that makes Luke a little bit better is the confidence that he puts out there. That Dylan, an incredible player in his own right, doesn't necessarily have. But ultimately, I think we may disagree on this. There's one thing that we can both agree on. Scott's the best out of the
Yeah.
Brandows, and that's something else that a lot of people don't understand is Scott is a very, very good Pokemon player.
Yep.
And I think he passed that on to the boys, and now
Yeah.
you have 3 different Brandows living in one house. When people aren't feeling good, when people aren't showing up, they can play against each other. There's
Yeah.
no traveling.
Nope.
And all of them have different styles, and all of them play different decks, and I think they just get that experience collectively. But I still give the edge right now, even though Dylan is sitting in first place, to Luke, based purely off of his confidence.
Really?
Yeah, that sometimes it's the things it's the intangibles that you got to go with. And I feel like Luke has some of those intangibles. Now, I know at the end of the day, that's not going to, change your mind.
This is not going to get him first place.
But it's just the way I look at it. Now, after the break, guys, the day had to come at some point. David Girvin not only lost his first match of the season, but he also lost a trainer battle to Audrey. Can David bounce back after a tough week 5? Or is this the end for our hero? Stay tuned. The time is here, everybody. SPL Season 4 Mid-Season Showdown, hosted by Ultimate Spice Gaming on Saturday, February 3rd at 12:30 p.m. will be free for all current SPL trainers, so be there or be square. The tournament will be a best-of-1 Swiss, with Swiss rounds with top cut for the top performing trainers, playing for a booster box or ETBs from Paldea Fates. We're still going to figure that out. Yep. I think we'll ask everybody when we get there, along with a custom one-of-a-kind SPL playmat, which will come at a later date. Unfortunately, we're having some issues with the distributor, but we're working on that to figure it out. So we would love to see everybody out there. Once again, Saturday, February 3rd, at 12:30 p.m. No deck list required. Nope. Points for Swiss rounds, so you can still earn points, but nothing for top cut.
Yes.
So let me set the stage for everyone. Oh no, scratch that. What we'll do is I want to kind of talk about David first, right? David Girvin had a tough week in week 5.
Yeah.
Losing for the first time this season at USG on Saturday morning. But not only did David lose, David also lost his first trainer battle of the season to Audrey for 1 point.
Yeah.
Now, this puts David currently at 4th place in the standings. And David, I felt... I'll let you listen to the quote, and then we'll kind of talk about it. Yeah. But David had this to say. I could, on any given night, beat any SPL trainer. And then, on any given night, I could get my ass kicked by any SPL trainer. At the end of the day, though, I'm still sitting in 4th place with 41 points and a 93.8% winning rate. So, whoever wants to smoke, they know where to find me. Now, couple that quote with a tweet that he put out that following night after he lost to Audrey, and you could see here, it's pretty plain to see. I think he's kind of sending everybody a message. While it is cryptic, I think a lot of people kind of saw it. Yeah, and as this now, T, with these two things, what do you make out of all of this?
Well, how the mighty have fallen. That tweet was a little much to add on to it, but I think he's hurting. I think he's hurting. I know I've put it out there that I wanted him to go undefeated all the way through.
I think a lot of people were cheering for it.
We were hoping, we were praying, but sadly enough, he just couldn't push through Audrey, and now he's just gotta pick up the pieces and keep going forward.
Okay, so what you're telling me is that you feel like at this point in time there might be a little bit of a crack in the armor, and showing it right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I look at this, I look at it as, once again, we talked about this with Luke, he's somebody that's sending out confidence, right? He's letting people know that, that was your shot that you had at me. Mm-hmm. It hit, but I'm still here. Yeah. And I'm still here to play, and I'm going to be able to come out and play and give it my all. And with that tweet, I think it just kind of encapsulates everything. And he's saying, for a lack of a better term, eat one. I definitely feel like David is someone that's not going to be rattled easy. And I know, like, you could look at what he's putting out there based on the fact that David doesn't really talk to too many people.
Yeah.
And you can kind of make up this idea of what you think is happening. I just don't feel like David's that type of person. His confidence with Tina has been there since the beginning of the season. He's been playing really, really well. And I mean, one loss is not going to make this man's legacy, right? Like, he's going to be somebody that ultimately will have a shot at the end of the year, at the end of the season, for that SPL championship trophy, to get his name engraved on it. And I don't necessarily know if this is going to be a setback for him. I feel like this week he's going to have a chance to come out strong. Now, it really depends on where he decides to play at.
Yeah.
Be it that, once again, we have the SPL midseason showdown happening at USG. Is he going to take the opportunity to go play there, where he's going to see a lot more trainers than what he has in the past? Or is he going to hold off, wait until he can go play at Hammerhead, where unfortunately there's been a little bit less of a turnout there, but he's been able to find a lot of success there. So, I feel like this is going to be something where we're going to laugh about it later down the road, especially if David winds up winning it all with that Tina list.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so, it's going to be one of those things that's going to be very funny, but you got to give your props to Audrey. The fact is, Audrey has been swinging for the fences every single week, hunting down these top competitors and making sure that she takes her shot at them. And this is just another week where she did phenomenal, I think. But we're probably going to get to that a little bit later. Up next, though, guys, I think it's everybody's favorite segment, Tease Tears. See you after the break. Welcome back to the show, everybody. It's I want to set the stage in a way that we haven't said it before. So I need everybody to close their eyes and picture late Tuesday night, while hosting a tie-dye party and practicing tongue twisters, T, with his committee of artists and refined poets, perfected a tremendous tongue twister to turn out a new T's Tears. Right? Let me refresh. Tremendous tongue twister to turn out a new T's Tears. Not as hard as people say, but I'm very bad with words. Oh. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce this subject or segment. So, T, take it away, handsome face.
All right. So, for the tier list this week, I want you guys to... Ant stole mine. So, I want you guys to think about your favorite professor, Pokemon professor. Not in real life now. I need you to think of the one from the video games. There you go. You catching it? Now I need you to think of your least favorite professor. Are we thinking of the same ones? Welcome to T's Tiers. So, for the bottom tier, we have Professor Willow. These are just trainers that I either need to see more from, or I need to see more in general. I haven't seen them at locals. They're not playing well right now. It's one of those two. In the Professor Willow tier, we have Zeke, we have Dan, we have Pang, we have Ant, we have Eli, Henderson, Mercedes, Z, and Goose. No explanations needed. Ant's falling off. Still can't stay at locals. Oh, that hurts. Yeah, it hurts me. So had to unfortunately just drop him down in the tier list. I hope you understand, bud.
I don't, but go on.
Tier 2. These are players that are, stepping their game up just a little bit, but I still want more. I still see potential in you. So, for the Professor Elm tier, we have Alex Gross, we have Francis Batista, Vince Sandoval, Michael Lestrade, that Ant argued for just last week.
Shout out, Mike.
Then we have Caitlin, and then my honorary inclusion, because he is returning, Francis Matrillo. I miss you, boo. Next, tier 3. These are our, middle of the pack, still don't want to, trainer battle some of these players. They will give you a run for your money at any locals they show up at. We have Luke Brandow, Cody Bishop, Terry Smethurst, Emmanuel Cruz, Nick Gleason, Never Trainer Battle, Andrew Saldana, and Corey Lafferton. Like I said, some of these people you just don't want to see in a trainer battle. That's all it is. These are great trainers. We're approaching the cream of the crop, though, at my favorite professor. I don't know about everybody else, but Professor Juniper. And this one might surprise some of you. First off, we have Alex Farnlocker in Juniper tier. Congratulations, you've earned this. Carlo DeCastro, David Girvin, Henry Thompson, and Audrey. Like I said, approaching the cream of the crop. Audrey has been a shark all week. You know what it is. These are top trainers in SPL right now. But sitting high at the mountaintop, Professor Oak tier, we have Dylan Brandow, Mike Moreno, Isaac Jung, and Will Hildebrand. I'm just saying, these are the tiers for this week. Who you mad at?
Okay, so I have a few surprises.
No.
I am not one of them. I feel like my placement is fair, given the fact that last week I earned 0 points, and I played. I lost a trainer battle to Terry. Well, I won that actual set. I lost the trainer battle, which was important. So I played and won for no reason.
Yep.
And then the following game, I lost to Mercedes, who played the Charizard mirror matchup to perfection. She was incredible, and much respect. I was just having a bad night. I was I was misplaying, and it's not a reflection of what they were doing. She did incredible. It was just, I knew at that point I was not having the night that I wanted to have, so I called it early, and that's how it was. So I'm perfectly fine with me being in Willow. Vince fell too far. Last week, he was one of your top trainers, and he had a really, really solid week. This week wasn't necessarily his worst week by any means, but to fall as far as he did from, I think he was second tier last week, all the way down to second from the bottom, is very surprising given the fact that he has still had a pretty solid season. Next up would be E-Man being in Magnolia. Now, I know E-Man, it has kind of had a little bit of a middle of the tier or a middle of the road season so far, but he is sitting at 13th place. He is coming off of a huge 12-point week, which is nothing to wave a stick at. I feel like he might just be sitting a little bit lower than what I think he should be, given the fact that, I mean, I'm looking at it. I know that the trainers that you have above him are higher in the standings, but you always told me that this ranking system or the tier system is not based off of standings. If I wanted to look at standings, I would look at standings.
Yeah.
So that's that. I feel like E-Man maybe goes a little bit higher. Luke, he's third in the league right now, sitting in Magnolia as well. I feel like the minimum he should be at is Juniper. And once again, I know they're not standings. I'm just saying he is playing at a much higher level than a lot of other people right now. And then my last, and this is my biggest beef, Audrey. Audrey's sitting right now in Juniper, demolishing everybody for the past couple of weeks, going after the biggest sharks that she can when it comes to trainer battles and so on. I feel like her being in Juniper and Mike, and I still call him Mike sitting there when they're 1 point apart from each other. Both have the same number of trainer battle wins. Both are just doing really, really well. I feel like Audrey either needs to be up there or Mike needs to come down. And I know a lot of people will say I'm a Mike hater. I'm not a Mike hater. I'm just a realist. I feel like I, I see, and that's the thing that's frustrating with this, because you try to have an honest assessment of somebody. Mike, for the past 2 seasons, has been middle of the road. I called it last season. I said Mike is not doing as well as he has the previous season, and he's going to struggle when he gets into the championship. He did. This season, Mike is doing much better after coming off of missing a couple weeks, but still not where most people would expect him to be, given the fact that he is our only champion to ever win the Points Cup and the Championship Cup in the same season. I'm not saying that. There needs to be a higher expectation for Mike, other than just going, Mike's really good. And you go, okay, well, he's not in first. He's 8th right now. He's 1 point ahead of some of these other people. I just feel like those two need to be on the same level. Personally, that's my take with specific things. Other than that, I think the list is actually really, really good.
I'm just saying, Mike took a week off and then gave us 2 back-to-back 12-point weeks. What more do you want from the guy?
I'm not saying that he's not a good player. I think a lot of people, I'm just saying maybe he's not elite right now, right? I'm looking at Professor Oak, and I'm saying those are elite trainers. Those are the trainers that everybody looks up to. And I don't know if people can say that about Mike right now. That's my own thing. The last thing that I'm going to say, and this is just more about the tiers in general, when's the bottom tier going to start getting regulated? Because I'm waiting for next week where we just go, these are all of these people, and then these people don't even show up to locals or aren't even playing really well right now. They're not even on Pokemon tiers. They're getting regulated to Digimon. And then you go from there. Now, from that, what's your response to mine?
I think you could make a case for Audrey maybe moving up to Professor Oak tier. She's definitely been a shark on the hunt since she's returned from Japan. Getting 2 trainer battle wins. Though one of them was for 1 point. Could have been 3. Just stellar performances. I just want to see another one. And then maybe the committee will talk over, bumping that up a little bit.
All right. It is what it is, guys. So coming up next, it's T's weekly trainer medals after the break. Welcome back, everyone, and please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Over the past week, T and I have received multiple calls from people close to Mr. Beast, who they're reaching out to us to let us know that the show SPL Live is currently scaring Mr. Beast, more so based off of the traction that we're getting and catching up to him in subscriptions and likes and comments and things like that. So keep up the progress, guys. Keep up the good work. And T, I'll go ahead and kick it over to you for T's weekly trainer medals.
All right, thank you, Santa Claus. For this week, our bronze medal actually goes to Alex Gross. Alex Gross, though not doing as well as he could be in SPL, did go on to Great Escape Games and win their league challenge this week, playing Snorlax. Alex went 3-0-1, still undefeated, won himself a booster box, 15 championship points, and played exceptionally well. So, though I can't get the kid to go to a locals and stay to save his life, he definitely did take down that challenge. And in the group chat, directly after it goes, these challenge things are easy. So, looking to get more from you now that you've got that out there. For our silver medal, can't keep giving it to the Brandos, so this week it has to go to Carlo DeCastro. Carlo is sitting at 2nd place with 46 points. He has 1 trainer battle win, and he's just a nightmare matchup to go against. Carlo, I'm letting you know right now, I see you. I still don't like playing against you, but I see you. You're doing very well, my guy. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. Playing guard every week.
That's why he ties so much.
I didn't say it. And then for our gold medalist this week, the Titan killer herself, Audrey. Audrey not only took down our last undefeated trainer, but gave them their first taste of a trainer battle defeat. Will David recover? We will find out next week. But right now, Audrey should be sitting atop the mountaintop, looking a high at her next unsuspecting victim for her next trainer battle.
It's gonna be Dylan.
Oh, I would so love to see that.
That would be so dope. That would be so dope.
But Audrey, you were doing exceptionally well with your return from Japan.
We're proud of you.
2 back-to-back first places at CCC, 2 trainer battle wins. There's nothing you can't do right now. So this gold medal is for you.
Audrey might have a shot at rookie trainer of the year,
right?
Based off of the trainer battles and just being able to beat people head to head. I mean, it's quite fascinating. Now, all right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show. Once again, remember the mid-season showdown takes place Saturday, February 3rd at USG Ultimate Spice Gaming at 12:30 p.m. No decklist required. Best of 1 Swiss with Top Cut. Click the link in the description for more information. And once again, as a reminder from T, I'm going to speak for him.
Yep.
Points are counted during Swiss rounds.
Yes.
They are not counted for Top Cut. So
Correct.
you could still earn points for showing up to this local. We're going to be giving away free boxes or a free box or free ETB. We got to figure that out when we get there and talk to everybody. But for the most part, very exciting. We would love to see everybody show up and just have a blast. Up until then, the show's done for the day.
Yep.
We'll catch you all again next week, Thursday. But until then,
see you at locals.
Peace.